Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Literary Warriors group and Neelam Saxena page. We are here once again with you, bringing to you a different kind of a program this time. Usually, you are well aware we have our poetry sessions. We keep reciting different kinds of poetry, both in English and in Hindi. But this time, what we are starting with is a storytelling session. And this particular session is for English stories. We have got five of our leading story writers, our leading writers here. And let me just introduce you to them, although you would already know them from because they have been coming on the page regularly. Immediately to my right or left or whatever direction it is, we have got Dr. Anshu Sharma from Delhi.
Hello.
And next to her, we have got Rashmi Sabale, who is from Pune. And
Hi.
then right below me here, we have got Rupa Bhargava, who is from Bahrain. And she
Hello.
prefers to be known as Ajat Anant, the unborn, and Anant is what?
Eternally
Endless.
unborn.
Yeah. So, and then we have got Rupa Rao, who's from New Jersey, I believe. Yes, New Jersey. And finally, we have Dr. Meenakshi Mohan, who is here from Washington, D.C. And of course, you know me, I am Anup from Mumbai, and we have all been meeting time and again. So let's get started. As you know, this is a storytelling competition, no, storytelling program, and this is up to you, Rupa. You put that idea of competition into my mouth. So we are here for reciting our stories, which all of us have written. And to begin with, let me call our opening batsman, Dr. Anshu Sharma. Anshuji, please come and what are you writing about? What is the story? Just the title, and would you like to go directly into the story?
Sure. Thank you so much, Anup. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity because uh, earlier I have been reciting poems in Hindi and English. I also attempted story writing in Hindi. However, writing a story in English is a first for me. So I hope you'll all like it, and I hope you'll all encourage me. And so this particular today's session will be definitely an examination for me, as we were all talking about right now. And so, without much ado, I should come back to my story so that we have enough time for everyone. So this story is called Beyond the Spotlight. So here I'm just trying to highlight uh, the problems in many of the Asian countries that the girls face and the stigma they face. In a small town nestled between dusty roads and crowded bazaars, a girl named Kokila grew up with dreams larger than life itself. She had that deep brown skin, like the earth after the first monsoon rain, and a face that people often overlooked. Ordinary, they would say. But what was ordinary to the world was extraordinary to her. Her voice carried stories, her hands danced with emotion, and her heart belonged to the stage. From the moment Kokila watched her first play, a traveling troupe performing in the town square, she knew she was meant for the theatre. But in a world where fair skin and delicate beauty were often prized more than talent, where girls from families like hers were expected to marry young and settle into a life of domesticity, Kokila's dream seemed impossible. Her mother, a seamstress, worried about her future. Hey girl, the stage is not for girls like you, she would sigh, stitching fabric late into the night. Find something stable, something safe. But Kokila, she wasn't the one to be caged by safety. She found solace in an old, abandoned warehouse where she practiced in front of a cracked mirror, whispering couplets from Kalidasa's Shakuntalam and Meghdut, enacting tragic monologues and mimicking the actors she saw in rare television broadcasts. When the town's local theatre announced open auditions for a play, Kokila knew this was her chance. She arrived at the hall, her heart pounding. The moment she stepped onto the stage, there were murmurs rippling through the crowd. Who was this dark skinned girl with unremarkable features, daring to dream? The lead actress, a porcelain skinned girl from a wealthy family, laughed under her breath. She won't make it past the first round, she whispered. But then Kokila spoke. Her voice, strong and steady, filled the room with the weight of centuries old poetry. She became the character, her expressions painting a story so raw and powerful that for the first time people forgot how she looked. They saw only her talent, her passion, and the fire burning within her. The director, an intelligent man with years in the industry, sat forward in his seat. When Kokila had finished, a hush fell over the theatre. Then applause, slow at first, gradually rising into a wave. Kokila didn't get the lead role that day, but what she got was something more valuable: recognition, an opportunity, a mentor who saw her potential beyond society's shallow standards. And from that day forward, she never stopped fighting for her place in the spotlight. Now Kokila knew something that the world hadn't realized yet. True beauty wasn't in the face that society praised, it was in the passion that set a soul on fire. And her own passion burned higher than any stage light ever could. Thank you. That was all about it.
Thank you, Anshuji. That was a wonderful start. It made a really great impression. The way you recited it, the content of the story, everything. And for our viewers, I could just run through some of our viewers. We have got Anuradha here. Satbir Chaddaji is there. Rupa Rao sitting here has been messaging on Facebook. So has Preeti Pandey. We got Surekha Sahuji saying hello everyone. Neelam has joined us. She is also wishing all of us well. And Maitri Joshi, there are some others. Purnima Rao, yes, here we are. So we have a good audience here, and we have had a lovely start with Anshuji. That was a really good performance, Anshuji. And now let's come to our second performer for the evening, which is Rashmi. Rashmi, what do we have coming from you today?
Thank you so much, Anupji, and thank you for motivating and encouraging me to write something in English because everybody knows I write in Hindi. I'm a storyteller and a poetess too. So let me start with my this that I'm really grateful and thankful to you for giving me this opportunity so that I can listen to my favorite speakers live. So thank you once again for this. And I am not very confident in writing fictional stories, so I try to collect incidents from my own life. So it's like this, it goes like this. Last month, this happened with me. As I boarded the flight from Frankfurt to Delhi with a layover before heading to Mumbai, I couldn't help but feel nostalgic about the lovely memories I had created in the German city. Little did I know that this flight would become even more unforgettable. As I settled into my desired window seat, I noticed a lady standing nearby. Checking her seat number, she accidentally dropped her boarding pass, and I quickly picked it up and handed it over to her. Tannevad, she said with a smile. Mention not, I replied. That was a sarcasm, isn't it? She said that in Hindi and I replied in English. As it turned out, she was my neighbor in the last row. Near the airplane's pantry, we struck up a conversation. People often say I'm good at starting conversations, and this time was no exception. Her name was Bridget, but she preferred to go by Brie from Bremen, Germany. As we chatted, I discovered that she was headed to Rishikesh via Delhi with plans to visit the Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj. Her reason for visiting Rishikesh was to attend a month long meditation camp. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, and before I knew it, we had been talking for over 2 hours. Bree spoke passionately about karma, Lord Shiva, and her experiences in Varanasi's ghats. She even shared her love for Rabindra Sangeet, and I was amazed by her knowledge and enthusiasm. As the conversation progressed, I asked Bree how she found India different from her own country. She said, Rashmi, Germany has technology, and India has technology and a strong family culture, both. She admired how in India friends could drop by each other's homes unannounced, a concept that was foreign to her. As we continued to chat, Brie offered me a handmade cookie filled with nuts. It was a thoughtful gesture, and I felt grateful for the kindness of this stranger turned friend. But what struck me even more was her humility and perspective. When I expressed my admiration for her knowledge, she smiled and said, What else do you want to know? Rashmi, you are lucky to be born here. She paused for a moment, collecting her thoughts before continuing. She said, You breathe this fresh air, which is infused with the essence of diverse cultures. You are surrounded by the vibrance of India, where unity in diversity is living and breathing reality. She was right. I had taken my Indian heritage for granted. I had grown up surrounded by the sights, sounds, and smells of this incredible country, but I had never truly appreciated its beauty and complexity. As I listened to Brie, I realized that I had been given a precious gift, the gift of being born in India, a land of incredible diversity, rich history, and vibrant culture. As Brie had mentioned, our conversation was a true cultural exchange. She even rated my German speaking skills as very good. As the flight landed in Delhi, I took a deep breath, feeling grateful to be back in my home country. Bree and I exchanged numbers, and we are still in touch. It was a heartwarming experience. And I realized that despite our cultural differences, we had formed a genuine connection. I realized that sometimes the most unexpected meetings can lead to the most meaningful connections, isn't it? Thank you so much.
Wow, Rashmi, that was great. That was really great. And listening to you, I doubt any one of us here would have thought that this was your first presentation in English of an English story. What do you say, friends? You're all muted.
Absolutely, yes. You
Absolutely.
brought the story
Like
alive with your personal experience. Loved it.
It's very
you seem
engaging,
like a pro.
very engaging.
Yeah.
Yes, so this was really nice, and we have been getting again, as I said, some good comments, and we have got a good audience also. We have got Sangeeta Sinha ji, we got Sangeeta Joshi ji, we got Renu Mishra ji, Garima Sudan Kapoor, Padmaja Iyengar, that's Padima, and few others here, which they're scrolling past quite fast, so I'm not really able to get hold of them, get read them immediately. But a good sense from the audience that yes, they are liking it, they are liking the way you have recited, and this is a good beginning. Thank you, audience. Thank you, my dear Munch, for such a lovely presentations. And next in our order of presenters today, storytellers, we have got Rupa Bhargavji Ajat Anand, who is from Bahrain. And as our dear friend Nivedita, I have formed a habit of asking her every time we meet or every time we interact, what's the time in Bahrain? That's a standard question
It's
which
two
we
and a half
start
hours
with.
behind India.
Yeah, I know. But this was at Nivedita, and over to you, Rashmi, as Rupa ji, sir.
Thank you, Anupji, for this opportunity. It's a wonderful platform. And I think I will be reading a story in a literary platform for the first time. So it's a challenge for me too. So this story is actually a fiction, and I just wrote it today. So it's very raw. I could not curate it deeply, but then, yes, I hope you like it. So my story is called as Stuck in a Loop. So I started. The cold, dark night was darker than usual, painted with grey clouds lashing down. It was like driving through a thick curtain of water. There was hardly a view other than the moist windows, the sound of spatter, the rhythmic window wipers, and the screeching brakes. The ferocious thunders were phasing me out. He eased off the accelerator as one had to be careful driving on wild nights like this. Quite haggard and shocked, I sat in the cab, pinching myself and the leather seats time and again. It was 10 degrees, but my hands were full of sweat, and I was hopelessly trying to breathe and believe that I am alive, that everything around me is real. My exotic week long travel was cut short not because of the rains, but the feeling that made me stuck in a matrix, in a loop. No, I'm not under the influence of any substance, causing me to be under the nemesis of my logic. A voice in my head is making a noise that it is making my head explode. Logic to fail. Did I get transported to a dimension that exists but quite unrealized by us in the grind? Am I just a transit between my past and the future? In 3 days, my world has tumble turned. Let me take you 3 days back. Today, as I got off my cab outside my building, I saw a kiosk at the reception. The banner said Breathless Views. That featured a beautiful, happy couple, the background lush green surrounded by mountains. The city I live in had been more of a gas tank, and as I saw the banner, I thought, when did I last breathe fresh? In no time, I was dragged to the kiosk. I negotiated my travel scheme and decided to go to the beautiful resort that they displayed in the advertisement. I decided to give myself a week away from the city hustle, a solo trip in just 10 hours drive to freedom amidst the green vibes. Only if I knew what was waiting for me there, I would have never gone. The onset of the trip took me far from the concrete to a lonesome high speed expressway and finally a detour to the start of a forest trail. A sudden jump from the noise to the tranquil silence. I was welcomed by the dawn of spring, the moist fresh air, and the sound of birds chirping. The morning sun played a peekaboo behind the tall pine trees. Quite a contrast from my everyday reality. I put the car window down, pushed my head out of the little space, and embraced Mother Nature's beauty. I felt like screaming my heart out and releasing every bit of the stress that I may be holding within. My car stopped at the estate, and I was welcomed by friendly and hospitable staff. Welcome to Breathless Views. The young girl had a circular decorative brass plate and some flowers and an earthen oil lamp. I was cordially escorted to my room soon and rejoiced seeing the balcony door open amidst the forest with the view of the mountains, a lake at a distance, just I had seen on the posters at the kiosk. I was transported to delight. A voice in my head said, every penny was worth the experience, a perfect place to unwind and discover the beauty in and out. I woke up early in the morning the next day. I went to the balcony, and again, the houses near the lakes, drew my attention. I felt a strange pull to go near the lake and see who stayed there. How long? And what was their experience staying out of the city hustle? Are they just nomadic souls or writers who dive into deep, digressing thoughts to a creation that the city would read and rejoice? It was 5 a.m., and I went to the reception and asked them to send me somebody to accompany to the lake. The young boy at the reception warned me not to go. He said that I will arrange for someone by 7 a.m., and the weather forecast tells that there may be rains, so I should avoid stepping out. I didn't listen to him. Dim clouds loomed in the sky. I was restless and carelessly went solo. Nothing moved. A few trees shifted with the wind, the familiar sound of humming insects, chirping birds, and I moved through the winding path of the forest trail. Suddenly, it started getting colder, and I pulled the chain up of my jacket and looked back. I could see the resort from a distance and was relaxed that I can find my way back. It was kind of constant cold and quiet. The wind sounded like rhythmic music, and it passed through the array of trees and the countless unseen tree leaves. As I moved closer to the lake, I remember shivering, though I was not cold. I suddenly heard some footsteps behind me in the forest trail. I called out loud, asking, who is there? But heard no reply. Only a dim, gloomy light filtered through the gaps of the dense trees, and I started walking again downhill towards the lake. The invisible footsteps followed, and now I started running. I stopped again, gasping for breath, and looked back but could not see anything. I laughed at myself for letting my imagination get the best creep out of the open. I shouted back with a bolder voice, is there anyone? Why are you following me? And this time I heard a voice. Don't make a noise. It wasn't my imagination. There was someone real following me. I asked with a shaky voice, come in the front of me. Why are you following me? And I could see a shadow gradually taking the form of a man in mid-50s and said, what a loop. I am loving it. You are here again? I told him that he might be mistaken as this was my first time to this place and asked him who he was. He ignored my question and moved away. I said to myself, how rude and weird was this man? Finally, I reached the lake. It had already started to drizzle. All the houses near the lake were identical, thick wooden doors, all painted red a long time ago, rusted window panes and latches. All that looked so beautiful from a distance didn't look that appealing and exquisite now. I looked back to see the sight of the man that followed me, but I couldn't see him. I stood at the veranda waiting for some noise inside the house, but I couldn't hear any. So I knocked the door. I stood shivering. I knocked the door in a hope to find a way to contact the resort and ask someone to come and take me back there. But no one opened the door. I reached the hand to push the door open, and the strangest feeling while doing so. Everything was so odd lately. The door opened, and I stepped in, making a sound on the wooden floor. There was no one in the room, but I could hear some old rustic music in the next room. I followed the music, and I saw an old man sleeping on a resting chair. I woke him up, and he looked towards me astounded and said, why did you come here again? It's been years since I am stuck, and you will be again. Why can't you ever remember a thing? I got a psychologically shock. A second man in a row on the same day telling me the same thing. I just ran away as swiftly I could to the next house and knocked the next door. This time, the door was opened by a man who looked 10 years older self of mine. I was horrified and ran to the next house. And this experience kept on repeating time and again. Every time I found myself stuck in a different time zone opening the door. Someone was younger, someone was older. Aghast, I ran back aimlessly to the resort in spite of the rain. Drenched in the rain, almost in an hour's time, I was back to the resort. And I was gasping for breath. I asked for my room keys as I couldn't find it in my pockets. The girl at the reception said, "That's sorry, I don't have a booking by this name, sir. I can't find your name in the system." I was shocked and I shouted back at her. "I had boarded this resort last night, and can you please find my name and give a key to me? My stuff is still in the room." And the entire staff was there in the reception. They couldn't find my name in the booking list. I sat shocked over there, shivering. And then she went to the archives and told me that there was someone by this name who booked the resort 2 years back and went missing. I suddenly noticed a calendar next to the reception which showed 2027. As I remembered, I moved out of my house in 2025. The staff tried to pacify me, saying that I was mistaken. There was no such booking. I might have been lost my memory. I was just found, remembered everything today, but I couldn't just gather everything. And suddenly I saw a cab stopping at the reception, and I found myself walking towards the reception. I was so shocked that I ran towards the cab, sat in the car, closed the door, and I told the cab driver to just take me to the city, back to my home. My journey started in the rain, and breathing heavy, fingers crossed, I just wished I could reach home. I slept off in the cab, and when I woke up, the driver said, "Good morning, sir. You have reached your destination." I looked out of the window. The hotel staff cordially welcomed me and said, "Welcome to Breathless Views." That was my story, stuck in a loop.
I literally loved the climax.
Absolutely. And wow, I can't think of anything else to say except wow. I've been saying that time and again as you were reciting it, and wow, once again. That was simply great, simply great. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And after Rupaji, we have Rupa Rao from New Jersey. And in her own words, this is a buy one, get one free scheme. So we call one Rupa Rao and we got one Rupa and we get another Rupa free for us.
Correct.
So second Rupa, Rupa Rao from New Jersey. Please welcome her. And what have we got today with us, Rupa?
Thank you so much, Anupji. And I don't know how to follow it up with what kind of a story after the lovely stories by Anshu about this beautiful girl in the arc lights and makes her presence felt. And Rashmi with her anecdote about her flight and befriending another person who respects our culture and knows so much about it. And a fabulous thriller where we actually were biting our lips and white knuckles. So thank you for your stories, and thank you, Anupji, for including me for this session. So I will share my humble attempt at storytelling, first time in public. I titled it, Tina, the War Journalist. How did I dare to imagine I could become a journalist, leave alone, cover war zones, said Tina at the TEDx talk. I'm a child of refugee parents. Nothing has come easy, not basic necessities, nor human rights, nor the freedom to express. Tina's voice faltered. to a mere whisper. Ever lengthening shadows of oppression threatened to engulf my very soul. She went on. We had to leave home, homeland, and start afresh just to breathe rarefied air of freedom. Her voice warmed. In kindergarten, my teacher checked in on me. She nourished my body, mind, and emotions that needed nurturing. She planted seeds of courage to stand up for truth, especially in the face of atrocities. Tina stopped, looked around, and called out, "Will the camera team please turn to the center row? Meet my hero teacher, Miss Bhatia." Tina was filled with pride as she applauded her. "You, Miss Bhatia, are the warmth that my chilled, frozen heart needed then. Your compassion steadied me through my tsunami, and your kindness contributed to my journey here. Thank you for the coveted honor of taking me under your wings." Tina continued. "I dedicate my cash prize and award to you, Miss Bhatia, to continue your silent mission to heal broken hearts and bodies, to shine light on what is important in this insane world. It is you and your ilk who channel suppressed energy positively when things seem the bleakest." Tina asserted. "My one learning from you is, in the world where you can be anything, be kind. You never know how it impacts someone in their dire moment of darkness." Tina smiled with a steely glint of determination in her eye and said, "Thank you, my tribe. You dare to incur the wrath of powers be, powers that do not hesitate to twist truth to support their devious agendas." Tina hailed a cab. "She will be traveling to Gaza in a few hours and then head to Kiev," she affirmed. "I have stories waiting to be told." And for Tina, it is back to another day of business as usual. Thank you.
Wow, that was nice, Rupa. And
Very well
where
recited.
did this Tina come from? Let's be honest here. Was it pure imagination or was it somebody you actually knew?
I imagined at one time in my life I would be doing it, which I could not, I did not, and now it may be too late in my life to do it. But this is something I imagine is what someone should be, would be, I should be doing it.
Okay, that's good. That's great. And so now I think we are at the end of our session. We have got only one last but not the least participant here. We have got Dr. Meenakshi Mohan. Meenakshi ji, please
Uh,
on
Thank,
the stage, center, and welcome.
thank you so much, my God. I listened to all the beautiful stories. I also wanted to thank Neelam Saxena for providing us the LWG platform to showcase our works. And thank you, Anup Jalanji, for this a bit different initiative of Tell Me a Tale. So I'm not going to give a big introduction because of the time. So the title of my story is Beyond the Divide. 4.5-year-old Ravi looked out the window. The train was running at full speed. The breeze ruffled his chestnut hair. He loved having this race with the trees and watching how his train left them behind. He waved at the children standing on the other side of the track, staring as the train passed them. He could hardly wait to be in Aligarh at his grandparents' house. He thought this train ride from Patna to Aligarh was so long. Ravi beta, please come and have some lunch, his mother called as she took puri and sabzi from the tiffin carrier and put them into small paper plates. The warm, spiced aroma of the puri sabzi stirred his appetite. His 2-year-old sister Rani was already savoring the food on the other side of the berth, sitting next to their father. The train reached Aligarh station later in the evening. As the train crawled to a stop, he saw the fragile stature of his Nana in his black sherwani and white pajamas, waiting for them and holding on to his cane. His Nani and Choti Mausi were there too. His heart thumped with joy. A couple of coolies in their red uniforms with brass-colored badges on the sleeves of their jackets rushed in to help with the baggage. Nana, Nani, Mausi eagerly hugged Ravi, his sister, and his parents as they got down. His mother instructed, Beta, Nana Nani ka pair chho. He bent down to touch their feet, and they blessed him, Jug Jug Jio. All his three Mausis doted on him. He loved the attention and teased Rani that all the Mausis loved him more than her, making her cry. After their bath and freshening up, they all sat at the large dining table for dinner. Nani had instructed the bawarchi to make his favorite dish. His mother and Nani could not stop chatting. He wondered what they had so much to talk about. His father was in deep discussions with Nana. He heard the names of Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose. Their talks became more like whispers. He was very keen to know about Nigar and Mahmood. He asked his Chote Mausi, when are Nigar and Mahmood coming to play with me? She smiled and responded, giving a peck on his cheek. Oh, they were here this afternoon and wanted to know when you are arriving. They could hardly wait to see you tomorrow. The following day, he went for a walk with his Nana. Nawab of Chatari Sahab was coming towards them from the other side. His grandfather and Nawab Sahab lived close by and had beautiful bungalows in the civil lines area of Aligarh. Nana told him, Beta, that is Nawab of Chatari. Call him Nana Sahab and do adab to him. What is adab, Nana? He asked with curiosity. He told him it was a salutation to show respect and showed him how to do adab. When Nawab of Chatari approached them, he put his four little fingers on his forehead and said, Adab, Nana Sahab. Nawab Sahab smiled and said, Vakil Sahab, your grandson is very well mannered. Nawab Sahab addressed his Nana as Vakil Sahab. He heard from his mother that his Nana was a well-known lawyer in Aligarh. He thought he would also become a lawyer like his Nana when he grew up. Not everyone was happy with his good manners. Nani arranged for a Satyanarayan puja to be held at her house. When Panditji arrived, he touched his forehead with his fingers and said, Adab Panditji. Panditji stared at him. Nani whispered in his ears, Beta, bend down and touch his feet and say Namaste Panditji by joining two hands. Nigar and Mahmood came over every day to play. Nigar was about his age and Mahmood was 2 years older than she was. They roamed around the garden. Nana had a beautiful orchard with various flowers and fruit trees. Nigar and Mahmood and Ravi mostly played until dusk. Rani was too young to be outside for so long, so she napped inside. Nigar and Mahmood were Ravi's first and only friends in those days. In summer, the whole family and the kitchen staff went to Mussoorie for 2 months to avoid the intense heat of Aligarh. One day, as Nana returned from his walk, he had a severe heart attack. A silence spread through the house. Everyone spoke to each other in hushed tones. The running and playing of children inside the house stopped. Nana needed peace. Every morning at 8 o'clock, Nawab Sahab Chatari's car stopped about 200 yards away from the bungalow so that the sound did not disturb Nana. Nana Sahab would come inside and ask for Nana's welfare and leave. When Nana passed away, Nawab Sahab participated in the funeral procession. Everyone was sad and walked slowly. Nawab Sahab was also one of the 4 people carrying Nana's wooden structure on his shoulder. He was crying, saying, Today I lost my brother. 1 year after returning to Aligarh from the hills, after the summer, Ravi learned that Nigar and Mahmood had gone somewhere with the entire family. Their bungalow was dark and empty. Then he heard the name of Pakistan. He asked Nani, how did they go? By horse carriage, car, or foot? His mother told him that they went by train. Aligarh lost its charm for Ravi after Nana Nani's death and Nigar and Mahmood's absence. Time, relentless in its passage, marched on. Decades slipped by, leaving a trail of fading faces. Yet the memories of Nigar and Mahmood remain etched in the deepest corner of Ravi's mind. Their faces flickered like phantom images. The loss of his wife had dealt a devastating blow to his mind and heart. The doctors diagnosed him with Alzheimer's and recommended that he should not be staying alone in the house. His daughter, recognizing the aging fragility of her father, brought him to her home so she could look after him and give him the comfort he so desperately needed. He swung back and forth between reality and fantasy. Sometimes he imagined and saw things as if they were real. One night his daughter's gentle touch roused him. Papa, are you all right? She asked, her voice aching with concern for him. Yes, he weakly responded. She continued, you know you were crying and calling for Nigar and Mahmood and wanted to know if they were safe. You were begging them to come and see you. Ravi stared at her with blank looks in his eyes. A silence crept into the room. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh,
I don't know what to say, Meenakshi ji. This was
yes.
actually tugging
Good.
at the heartstrings. This was a really good one. Yes.
Thank you.
So, friends, we have reached the end of our program today. We have heard some lovely stories, we have heard lovely recitations of these stories, and as you could see, you could hear, they were all of different genres, they are different kinds of stories, and this has been a good experience. This has been a lovely experience, and this is something which I would love to repeat regularly with different authors, different writers, and some of us repeating again and again. We have been seeing us, all of us recite poems. Let's now open up this to the stories sections. Let's start with this. And hopefully next month we'll be back with another session of Tell Me a Tale. Before that, possibly we'll do a Hindi version of this. Let's see how things go and what kind of response we get from people. So thank you once again, everyone. We are at the end. Meenakshi ji, Anshu ji, Rupa ji, and Rashmi. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for these lovely stories. And it's a good night. Shubhratri Shabak hai.
And Anupji, thank you for the wonderful concept, the idea, and this execution today. Loved, enjoyed immensely the entire experience of different stories. I wish we had one from you today. Hopefully, next time that will be addressed.
Hopefully next time that will be addressed. Yes, definitely. Okay. Okay, then everyone, good night and be in touch.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.